Hey, what's happening, Bat fans and gamers? KWING here. Anyway, a lot of you have been asking my take on The Dark Knight Rises, so here it is, but let's start with the plot first. The movie begins 8 years after The Dark Knight ended, which echoes Frank Miller's novel of The Dark Knight Returns. Like the comic, Batman is but a memory for the people of Gotham City. While Jason's death isn't the reason for his retirement, Alfred's little white lie about Miss Dawes is. This, accompanied with Joker's killing spree and Harvey's death, revealed to Bruce that Batman caused more harm than good. So because of this, Bruce has become a recluse in his own home and Batman died with Two-Face. Time out, just for a second. This is so out of character for Batman and a major issue that I had with this film. In any incarnation, Batman moping over a dead girlfriend or friend and being inactive isn't possible. Couple months, maybe. A year, that's stretching it, but 8 years? Wrong. What makes Batman better than many heroes is his will, principles, and his resolve. No matter what happens to the guy, he never gives up, no matter what. But I digress. Back to the story. Besides Batman, Wayne Enterprises has seen better days too. The company lost a lot because of the failed fusion power experiment. Because of this, Bruce's family's company is in danger of a hostile takeover by Daggett Industries, though Lucius Fox and Miranda Tate are doing all they can to prevent this from happening. Still, believe it or not, on the surface, some good things has happened to Gotham in Batman's absence. Like Jim's Lie, for instance, which spurred the creation for the Dent Act, and over the years, organized crime is gone. Gotham feels more like Metropolis than, well, Gotham City. However, everything that took place leads to a deadly storm coming to Gotham, and before it arrives, the commissioner will be pressured to retire, because he was elected during wartime, so there's no need for a hero in peacetime. As for how Batman gets back to work, well, it's all thanks to this beautiful cat thief. But his return sets up a confrontation with Bane, who steals Wayne's arsenal and breaks the bat. Gotham then falls, and Bane abolishes the Dent Act and separates the city from the rest of the world, thus creating a no man's land, reference intended. Now, Nolan's movies always focus on important real-life things. This film was no different and carefully showed things like socialism, poverty, war, Occupy Wall Street, although that was just blind luck, and some other stuff. But still, The Dark Knight Rises touched up on a very important subject, and that was good triumphing over evil. No matter how bleak and grim the world looks, good will always rise to overcome it. In a post-9/11 world, that message of hope is very encouraging. Now, like the previous films, Rises borrows from many famous Batman story arcs. Actually, for this tale, Nolan and his brother were inspired by Nightfall, Contagion, Legacy, No Man's Land, and The Dark Knight Returns. I mention the important Ra's stories because his legacy is a very important part of this film. Instead of using a plague, Ra's replacement, Bane, tries to nuke everybody. Makes sense. Essentially, Tom Hardy's Bane becomes the new head of the League of Shadows, and carries on Ra's will. Though in all honesty, he plays second fiddle to the Demon's Head's real offspring. So basically, Bane is Ubu. Yep, just a buff bodyguard, but he'll still break you in too. Now, that isn't to say that Hardy's performance wasn't great, because it was amazing. He had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. You look at this guy and physically you know Batman has met his match. The character's both brutal and intelligent, a double threat. I'm also happy to report that Bane's voice is easier to hear, though at times he did sound like an Irish Darth Vader. Selina Kyle's character, portrayed by Anne Hathaway, was surprising. I say that because I was expecting not to like her as Catwoman. Anne brings grace, elegance, compassion, and humor to the role, something that was missing from other actresses who played the role. Over the course of the film, you see her character change into more than just a common thief, which mirrors her journey in the comics since the 1980s. She's more anti-hero than bad girl. She also brings happiness and romance to Bruce's life. Gordon-Levitt's character acts as both Jim's and Batman's sidekick throughout the film. The only thing I didn't like about this character is his real name, and sorry, this is a spoiler I can't avoid. Why couldn't they just call him Dick or Richard? Robin? That's a girl's name. I know it's an inside joke between Bale and Nolan, even so, it just bugs me. Though I really did enjoy the parallel between Blake and Nightwing, both being cops, protecting the innocent, and watching out for the orphans. That's pretty cool. Based on how this movie ended though, it really made me want to see a lot more of Detective John Blake. But I know that's just wishful thinking at this point. Still, on the other hand, for me, Batman stole the show for this film. Like Begins, Rises is an epic Bruce Wayne story from beginning to end. Christian Bale gives his best performance yet, and with this all-star cast, that's saying a lot right there. Batman's journey has come full circle, and through Bale, the viewer can feel just that. Based on all the events that transpired in the film, Bruce isn't running scared anymore. He's angry. Because of all the stuff that happened to Bruce and his injuries sustained running from the police, Batman is like a beat up rusty old soldier. Even his doctor grills him on his past rich guy crazy injuries, which I thought was pretty cool. Not since Keaton did I actually believe I was seeing a real life Batman on screen, and that's a compliment. Personally, Alfred, Michael Caine, doesn't get a lot of love in this film, but when he is on screen, he just draws the audience in deeper at a very emotional level. Morgan Freeman's character, CEO Lucius Fox, has a lot more to offer this time around though. He replaces Alfred as the father figure and doubles as Batman's Q for the film. I also liked Fox in the previous films as well, and I hope to see more of Lucius Fox in other Batman incarnations, because he's actually a very crucial character and ally for Batman. Another returning ally is Gary Oldman's Commissioner Gordon, who does a fantastic job as always, but a lot's happened to Jim, and because of his past decisions, he's no longer with his family anymore. After the events of The Dark Knight, the actor carries himself like a seasoned war general. While this take on the character is similar to Miller's, I had no issue with it, and I could really feel for this character's inner turmoil over his little white lie that just grew way out of control. For the most part, the pacing of the movie felt okay, though certain parts still feel very rushed, so I would have been okay with the film being just a little bit longer. I know it's already almost a 3-hour film, even so it doesn't really give the audience enough time to digest what's happened before being thrust into the next scene, you know what I mean? However, like with Begins, this movie's story is an important part of this film, and while the first and third acts were fantastic, the second and ending leave much to be desired. But as much as I would love, and I mean love, to talk about this movie's ending, I'll have to save that for another video. In all honesty though, I was not a fan of this film's soundtrack. It just doesn't fit. Well, Zimmer's solo work doesn't really work anyway. The music feels unfinished and just doesn't capture the tone of the film at all. The music just felt way too ambient and doesn't connect with the audience on an emotional level. It's just there. Personally for me, Batman Begins is the best score because of James Newton Howard, who added more strings, harmony, and soul to the film's music, which was awesome. Well anyway, all griping aside, I really like this film. It's the first Batman trilogy to have a clear ending while alluding to the possibility of continuing these wonderful characters. I strongly suggest you see this film multiple times because you would be so glad you did. If I did a score system still, I would give this film 4 bats out of 5, just 1 bat short of The Mask of the Phantasm. Well anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed my review, and let me know what you think in the comments section below. Until next time, God bless and happy gaming, and thank you so much for watching. I'll be seeing you.